When a man crosses the threshold of 60, something changes, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. The body that once felt invincible begins to reveal its limitations. The mornings, once filled with a natural surge of vitality, can start to feel quieter, slower, and less alive. And one of the most personal, often unspoken, struggles is the decline of those strong, effortless morning erections that used to appear without a second thought. For many men, it's a private loss, a silent struggle they rarely admit even to themselves, let alone to others. Now, this silence isn't just about embarrassment, it's about identity, because for decades your body responded automatically, affirming life, health, and strength. And when that signal weakens, when it fades away or disappears altogether, it can feel like the loss of something essential. It can quietly erode confidence, whispering doubts into your mind about whether your best years are already behind you. You may not say it out loud, but you feel it. It's there in the way you carry yourself, in the way you think about intimacy, in the way you interpret the story of your own aging. But here's the thing, this struggle, as common as it is, doesn't define you. It's not a final verdict handed down by time. It's a challenge, yes, but one that reveals an opportunity, because what it really shows is that your body is calling for attention. It's signaling that the systems that once operated with effortless harmony, your circulation, your hormones, your nervous system, are now demanding care, deliberate action, and renewal. This is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter where you get to participate consciously in restoring your own vitality. And make no mistake, it's not weakness to admit that this is hard. It's not weakness to say that you miss what once came naturally. In fact, the strength lies in facing it honestly, rather than pretending it doesn't matter. Too many men suffer in silence, thinking they are alone in this, when in reality, millions face the same challenge every single day. The difference is that most try to push it into the shadows, while only a few step into the light and decide to confront it directly. Think about it this way: the loss of those morning erections isn't just about intimacy. It's a signal about your health as a whole. Blood flow, energy, oxygen, vitality, all of it is interconnected. When the system falters in one place, it reveals where attention must be directed. Instead of viewing it as the shameful erosion of masculinity, you can begin to see it as your body's way of speaking, urging you to take steps that will enhance not only your mornings, but your entire day, your relationships, your confidence, and your longevity. And here is where the silent struggle becomes something transformative, because once you decide to break that silence, not by broadcasting it to the world, but by acknowledging it to yourself, you reclaim your agency. You are no longer a passive observer of your own decline. You are an active participant in rebuilding, strengthening, and reigniting the spark that age may have dimmed, but not extinguished. The truth is, after 60, life can become richer, deeper, and more intentional if you choose it. What once happened automatically now requires care, and that care makes it all the more meaningful. When you begin to take those small steps, activating pressure points, improving circulation, adjusting your habits, you're not just reviving a physical function. You're making a statement that your body still has more to give, that your spirit still burns with energy, that your story is far from over. The silence of struggle becomes the voice of determination. The absence of morning vitality becomes the drive to build it again, consciously, deliberately, and powerfully. And when you take that path, you don't just restore what was lost. You rise stronger, more aware, and more alive than before. So let's be clear, the silent struggle after 60 is real, but it is not final. It is not the closing of the book. It is the moment when you decide whether to fade quietly into resignation, or to rise with renewed strength and prove, to yourself most of all, that life, vitality, and confidence are still very much within your reach. And when you choose the latter, you discover something extraordinary. that the best days are not behind you, but waiting ahead, ready for you to claim them with both hands. Would you like me to now expand key point 2, why erections reflect total body health, in the same seamless, motivational style, so the speech begins to build naturally step by step? You said, why erections reflect total body health, expand key point 2 into a 750-word segment, ensuring it flows naturally within the speech and aligns with the overall key points. Avoid using headings and craft the tone to feel seamless, conversational, and inspiring, as if Jordan Peterson is delivering the speech live. Conclude with a strong and impactful closing line, without explicitly mentioning Jordan Peterson's name in the segment. ChatGPT said, "When you stop to think about it, an erection is a remarkable thing. It's not just a matter of desire or instinct. It's the culmination of an extraordinary orchestration within your body. Blood vessels, nerves, hormones, and even your psychological state all come together in a precise and delicate balance. And that is why morning erections, in particular, are far more than a simple sign of masculinity. They're a reflection of your entire body's health, a kind of built-in diagnostic tool that nature provides, whether you pay attention to it or not." Consider for a moment what actually has to happen for one to occur. Your cardiovascular system must be functioning well enough to push blood quickly and forcefully into the smallest vessels of the body. Your nervous system has to fire signals with speed and precision, activating a cascade of chemical messengers. Your hormones, especially testosterone, need to be present in sufficient levels, regulating not just your reproductive system, but your mood, your drive, and your energy. Even your quality of sleep matters, because those morning erections are often the result of deep, restorative rest and the cycles of REM that recharge your brain and body. If one piece of this system falters, the entire process can weaken, slow, or stop altogether. So, when a man past 60 notices that his morning erections have faded, it's easy to think it's only about aging or just about sexuality, but that's too shallow of an interpretation. What it's really showing is the status of your circulation, the integrity of your nerves, the balance of your hormones, and the overall vitality of your body. It's a message from your biology, telling you how well the machine is still running. In fact, doctors often consider erectile strength as an early indicator of cardiovascular health, sometimes even predicting heart disease years before other symptoms appear. That should tell you just how interconnected this really is. Now, this perspective changes everything, because instead of viewing the decline as a sentence you have no control over, you can begin to see it as an opportunity, a warning, and a call to action. If your morning erections are weakening, your body isn't betraying you, it's communicating with you. It's giving you a chance to intervene, to make changes that not only restore that particular function, but strengthen your entire system from the inside out. And when you do, you're not just addressing one aspect of health, you're reinforcing the whole structure. Your energy levels rise, your clarity sharpens, your stamina improves, your confidence grows. Think about how much sense this makes. If blood can flow strongly into one of the most delicate and demanding areas of your body, it means your vessels are open, elastic, and healthy. If your nervous system can transmit those signals quickly and effectively, it means your brain and spinal cord are well regulated. If your testosterone is high enough to support this process each morning, it means your hormonal system is still vital and resilient. And if you're waking up with energy, clarity, and that unmistakable sign of life, it means your sleep and recovery are serving you well. Every single morning becomes a small but powerful reflection of the whole picture of your health. Now, here's the inspiring part. Men often think that once this signal weakens, it's gone forever, but that isn't true. The body is capable of remarkable regeneration if you give it the right conditions. Pressure points can be activated to improve circulation. Nitric oxide can be stimulated naturally to open up blood vessels. Habits can be built that restore balance and vitality. What was once an unconscious process can be brought back consciously, and when it returns, it comes with an even greater sense of appreciation and strength than before. And this is where the true meaning lies, because it's not just about physical performance, it's about what it symbolizes. It's about knowing your body is still alive, still thriving, still capable of vitality at an age when many give up and resign themselves to decline. That symbol alone, the return of strong morning erections, becomes a daily reminder that you are still in the game, that your health is not finished, and that your best years are not behind you, but unfolding right now in front of you. So when you pay attention to this signal and when you work to restore it, you're not simply reviving a function of the body. You're declaring something profound. You're declaring that you refuse to drift quietly into decay. You're declaring that your health matters, that your vitality matters, and that life after 60 can still be full of strength, confidence, and fire. And when you make that declaration, not just in words but in action, your body responds. It rewards you with energy, with resilience, and with the unmistakable reminder every single morning that you are still very much alive. Would you like me to move forward and expand key point 3, ancient science meets modern urology, in the same style, so your speech builds naturally toward revealing the pressure points? You said, ancient science meets modern urology, expand key point 3 into a 750-word segment, ensuring it flows naturally within the speech and aligns with the overall key points. Avoid using headings and craft the tone to feel seamless, conversational, and inspiring, as if Jordan Peterson is delivering the speech live. Conclude with a strong and impactful closing line without explicitly mentioning Jordan Peterson's name in the segment, ChatGPT said. For thousands of years, human beings have searched for ways to strengthen the body, restore vitality, and preserve the fire of life well into old age. Long before modern medicine, men and women turned to systems of knowledge that today we would call ancient science. Practices rooted in observation, repetition, and the wisdom passed down from generation to generation. Pressure points, energy channels, and the subtle pathways of the body were mapped long before there were MRI scans or ultrasounds. People didn't have the technology we have today, but they had something else. They had patience, discipline, and the ability to see patterns over centuries. They learned that by pressing here or massaging there, circulation would improve, pain would lessen, energy would rise. What might sound mystical to some was, in reality, the beginning of a science, a language of the body that was tested not over years, but over lifetimes. And now, centuries later, we find ourselves in a fascinating place. Modern urology, with its scans, measurements, and scientific precision, is beginning to confirm what those ancient traditions always suspected, that the body holds hidden switches, subtle gateways, that can be activated to restore balance and function. The skeptics who dismissed pressure points as superstition are now forced to admit that there is measurable science behind them. Pressing certain regions stimulates nerves, enhances blood flow, and triggers chemical releases like nitric oxide that directly affect vascular health. What the ancients described as energy flow, modern medicine describes as circulation and nervous system regulation. Different words, different frameworks, but remarkably similar truths. This convergence of worlds is not something to ignore because it offers you a choice. You can choose to live in a narrow way, assuming that the only solutions are pills and procedures, or you can broaden your vision and integrate both the ancient and the modern. Imagine what happens when you take the discipline and practical wisdom of traditions that survived for millennia and pair them with the clarity and rigor of modern science. That's when transformation becomes possible. You're no longer at the mercy of decline. You are standing at a doorway where the best of two worlds meet. And this is where the subject of erections, particularly morning erections, becomes so powerful. Modern urology can explain with precision why they fade with age: reduced blood flow, weakened endothelial function, lower testosterone, diminished nerve sensitivity. But ancient science offers something modernity often overlooks: a way to actively participate in reversing the process. Pressure points are not magical, they're mechanisms. They stimulate blood flow to areas that have grown stagnant. They calm the nervous system when stress is choking off vitality. They restore balance to a body that is tilted too far into exhaustion and rigidity. Think about the wisdom of that for a moment. A man 60 or 70 years ago might have thought there was nothing he could do except accept his fate. But today, you have access to both perspectives. You have the proven measurements of science telling you what is happening, and you have the timeless practices of tradition giving you tools to change it. And the beauty of it is, these tools don't require prescriptions, surgeries, or expensive machines. They require your attention, your discipline, your willingness to engage with your own body in a deeper way than you might be used to. This isn't about rejecting modern medicine. It's about complementing it. If you need medical intervention, of course it has its place. But what's tragic is when men assume that's all there is, that their only hope lies in something external. The truth is, when you activate these ancient techniques, you wake up the body's natural ability to heal, to strengthen, to renew. You discover that you are not powerless, and that is a revelation with consequences far beyond sexuality. Because once you realize that a simple act, pressing a point, stimulating a pathway, and awaken energy you thought was gone, it shifts how you see everything. You begin to understand that age is not just decline, it's a test. A test of whether you are willing to step into deeper knowledge, to learn what was hidden from you when you were young and everything came easily. Now you earn your vitality through awareness, through practice, through discipline. And when it returns, it means more because you built it with your own hands. So this meeting of ancient science and modern urology is not just interesting, it's liberating. It shows you that the gap between what once was and what still can be is smaller than you think. It gives you permission to believe that your body still has secrets left to reveal, that your strength can be rekindled, that the fire within you can burn again with the same intensity, even after 60. And if you embrace this truth, if you allow yourself to integrate wisdom that stretches across time, you will discover something extraordinary, that the same body you thought was fading is, in fact, waiting to be awakened. And when you awaken it, you don't just reclaim what you lost. You step into a deeper, stronger, more conscious version of yourself than you ever thought possible. Would you like me to now expand key point 4, the 3 secret pressure points revealed, in the same seamless, motivational style, so the speech naturally moves into the core promise? You said the 3 secret pressure points revealed expand key point 4 into a 750-word segment, ensuring it flows naturally within the speech and aligns with the overall key points. Avoid using headings and craft the tone to feel seamless, conversational, and inspiring, as if Jordan Peterson is delivering the speech live. Conclude with a strong and impactful closing line, without explicitly mentioning Jordan Peterson's name in the segment. ChatGPT said, "The body is an intricate map, and most of us only ever learn to navigate the most obvious roads. We know the large muscles, the joints, the heart, the lungs, but hidden beneath the surface are subtle switches, pressure points, that can influence far more than you might imagine. These points are not mystical curiosities. They are gateways into the nervous system and circulatory pathways, places where a small, deliberate action creates a chain reaction throughout the body. For a man who wants to restore his morning vitality, especially after 60, there are three such points that stand out. They are deceptively simple, but when practiced consistently, they become powerful tools to awaken what feels dormant. The first lies in the perineum, the area between the base of the genitals and the anus. It's not an area most men pay much attention to, but it is rich with nerve endings and directly connected to the pelvic floor, the foundation of sexual and urinary health. Gentle but firm pressure here stimulates the pudendal nerve, which plays a central role in erectile function. When activated, it encourages blood to flow into the pelvic region, reawakening pathways that age and inactivity often weaken. Many men are shocked when they discover how much energy can be released from this overlooked point, how a simple press or massage in this hidden place can ripple outward, restoring circulation, strength, and responsiveness. The second is located just above the pubic bone at the lower abdomen. This area is a hub where blood vessels, lymphatic channels, and nerves intersect, and it is often tense or stagnant in older men. By massaging this region, you are not only relieving deep muscular tightness, but you are also stimulating the body's natural release of nitric oxide, a chemical essential for relaxing blood vessels and allowing them to fill more easily. Nitric oxide is, in many ways, the biological spark behind erections. Without it, no amount of desire is enough. With it, the body responds like it once did in youth. This point, then, is not simply about pressure. It is about unlocking a chemical cascade that reignites a system which might otherwise remain dormant. The third point is found on the inner thighs along the femoral artery. This artery is a main highway of blood into the lower body, and by pressing gently along its path, you can increase circulation into the groin and pelvis. Think of it as priming a pump. The blood must flow freely into the base of the body for erections to be strong, and this pressure point helps clear the way. When practiced regularly, it strengthens vascular elasticity, reduces stagnation, and allows oxygen, rich blood, to surge where it is most needed. Many men describe the sensation as warmth spreading through the lower body, a tangible reminder that life is flowing again where it once felt restricted. What's remarkable is not just that these points exist, but that they require no equipment, no medication, no external device. Only your attention and your willingness to engage with your body in a new way. And while they are simple, the impact they have can be profound, because what begins as a few minutes of deliberate practice becomes a daily ritual of renewal. The body starts to respond, the mornings begin to change, and with them, your outlook shifts. You no longer wake with resignation. You wake with anticipation, with the knowledge that strength and vitality are returning to you. Skeptics may dismiss this as too simple to be effective, but simplicity is often where the deepest truths lie. Science has already confirmed that stimulation of these regions improves circulation, nerve activity, and chemical release. Ancient traditions knew this intuitively long before studies validated it, and now you are in a position to benefit from both worlds. You can approach these pressure points not as superstition, but as practical tools sharpened by centuries of use and reinforced by modern understanding. And here is the most inspiring part. Practicing these techniques is not just about restoring function, it's about reclaiming a sense of agency over your own body. Too often, men past 60 feel that their health is slipping out of their hands, that decline is inevitable, that strength belongs only to the past. But when you learn to activate these points, you prove to yourself that vitality is not gone, it is waiting to be called upon. Every press, every moment of stimulation is an act of defiance against the slow pull of age. It is a decision to participate in your own renewal rather than surrender to decline. Over time, the results build. Morning erections return with greater frequency and strength. Energy throughout the day rises. Confidence is restored not only in intimacy but in every area of life. Because when you know your body is still capable of responding, when you feel that surge of vitality in the morning, you carry it into everything you do. It changes the way you walk, the way you speak, the way you see yourself. So, these 3 secret pressure points are more than a technique. They are an invitation to step out of resignation and back into strength, to rediscover a part of yourself you thought was lost. And when you accept that invitation, you realize something extraordinary, that age does not have the final word. You do. Would you like me to now expand key point 5, daily practice, maximum results, in the same motivational style, so your speech builds toward discipline and consistency? You said daily practice, maximum results, expand key point 5 into a 750-word segment, ensuring it flows naturally within the speech and aligns with the overall key points. Avoid using headings and craft the tone to feel seamless, conversational, and inspiring, as if Jordan Peterson is delivering the speech live. Conclude with a strong and impactful closing line, without explicitly mentioning Jordan Peterson's name in the segment, ChatGPT said. The truth about transformation is that it doesn't happen all at once. It doesn't come from a single moment of inspiration or a burst of effort that fades the next day. Real change, the kind that reshapes your body and your life, comes from daily practice. That's the secret most men don't want to hear because it requires discipline. It requires showing up even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, even when the results aren't obvious yet. But if you're honest, you know this is true. Everything meaningful in life, strength, wisdom, relationships, even freedom, comes from the steady accumulation of small actions repeated over time. When it comes to restoring morning erections after 60, the same principle applies. Pressing those pressure points once or twice out of curiosity won't make a difference, but practicing consistently, making it part of your daily routine, that's where the results begin to multiply. Each time you stimulate those points, you're encouraging blood to flow more easily. You're teaching your nerves to fire more efficiently. You're signaling to your body that vitality is still required. At first, the change may feel subtle, almost imperceptible, but day after day, week after week, the body adapts, the circulation improves, the nervous system becomes more responsive, hormones regulate more efficiently, and slowly what seemed lost begins to return. You must understand that this is not simply about regaining a physical function. It's about training your body to remember what it once knew, and then to strengthen it beyond what you thought possible. Every morning, you have an opportunity to invest in yourself. When you wake, instead of rushing into distraction or surrendering to inertia, you can take a few minutes to engage in these practices. Combine them with deep breathing, with a glass of water to rehydrate, with a stretch to loosen your muscles, and suddenly you're not just stimulating your body, you're setting the tone for your entire day. There's a psychological power in this as well. Daily practice reinforces identity. If you commit to it, you're no longer the man who passively watches himself decline. You're the man who takes responsibility, who actively participates in his own renewal. That shift in identity is crucial because the mind always follows the story it believes about itself. If you tell yourself that you're too old, that decline is inevitable, your body will reflect that resignation. But if you tell yourself, through action, not just words, that you are still capable of strength, your body will respond. The brain and body are in constant dialogue, and your daily habits are the language through which they speak. Of course, there will be days when you don't feel like it, when the progress seems too slow, when doubt creeps in. That's where the deeper lesson of daily practice reveals itself. You learn to act regardless of your mood. You learn that commitment is more powerful than fleeting feelings, and paradoxically, when you act first, the feelings follow. Energy rises after you've moved, not before. Vitality returns after you've put in the effort, not while you're waiting for motivation. This is why consistency matters more than intensity. 10 minutes every day is worth infinitely more than an hour once a week. The body thrives on rhythm, on signals repeated so often they become ingrained into its systems. And the beauty of this is that the benefits extend far beyond erections. As you commit to these practices, you'll notice your energy throughout the day increasing, your sleep will deepen, your mood will stabilize, your confidence will grow, not just because of the physical changes, but because you know you're doing the work. You're proving to yourself that you still have control, that you're not at the mercy of time, but in partnership with it. You begin to carry yourself differently because discipline changes posture, tone of voice, and even the light in your eyes. It's important to realize that what you're really building is momentum. Every day you practice, you're adding another brick to the structure of your vitality. One brick doesn't seem like much, but 100, 1,000, they build a fortress. That fortress is resilience. It protects you against the despair that creeps in when you feel powerless. It shields you from the quiet voice that says it's too late. And it becomes a foundation not only for physical strength, but for everything else you care about. Your relationships, your work, your sense of purpose. So don't underestimate what a daily routine can do. Don't underestimate the compounding power of small, deliberate actions. The results may not come overnight, but they will come, and when they do, they'll feel like they were earned, because they were. The body rewards consistency, it rewards effort, and if you give it both, it will give back to you in ways that may surprise you. Every morning you have a choice to slip quietly into decline or to rise and engage in the practices that keep you strong. And if you choose the latter, if you commit to the daily discipline of renewal, you will discover that maximum results don't belong to the young. They belong to the disciplined, and discipline has no age limit. Would you like me to now expand key point 6, reclaiming confidence, energy, and intimacy, in the same motivational style, so your speech closes with maximum impact? You said, reclaiming confidence, energy, and intimacy, expand key point 6 into a 750-word segment, ensuring it flows naturally within the speech and aligns with the overall key points. Avoid using headings, and craft the tone to feel seamless, conversational, and inspiring, as if Jordan Peterson is delivering the speech live. Conclude with a strong and impactful closing line without explicitly mentioning Jordan Peterson's name in the segment. ChatGPT said, "There comes a point in a man's life when he has to ask himself what he really wants to carry into the years ahead. Is it resignation, the quiet acceptance that age has taken the best of him? Or is it renewal, the determination to keep showing up with strength, with energy, with the capacity to live fully?" The truth is, morning erections, pressure points, blood flow, all of these things we've been talking about. Yes, they're about the body, but they're about more than that. They're about reclaiming confidence, energy, and intimacy, the very things that make life after 60 not just bearable, but meaningful. Confidence doesn't just appear because you will it into existence. It's built on evidence. It's built on proof that you are still capable, that your body responds when you call on it, that the work you've put in has real results. When you begin to restore your vitality through these practices, your confidence grows not because of abstract affirmations, but because you can feel it in your bones. You wake up in the morning and your body reminds you that you're alive, that you're strong, that you can still perform. That reminder changes how you walk into a room. It changes the way you carry yourself around your partner, your children, your peers. Confidence radiates, and people can sense it without you ever having to say a word. And then there's energy. Most men underestimate how much their physical state dictates their mental and emotional state. When your body feels weak, your mind starts to doubt. When your mornings are sluggish, the whole day becomes heavier. But when your circulation is strong, when your hormones are balanced, when you're doing the daily work to stimulate those pressure points and move your body, the energy you generate spills into everything. You find yourself more alert, more present, more willing to take on challenges. Life after 60 doesn't have to be about slowing down. It can be about channeling your energy more deliberately, using it with wisdom, but also with vigor. Intimacy is the third piece, and perhaps the most misunderstood. It's not just about performance, it's about connection. When you lose your vitality, intimacy often suffers in silence. You avoid closeness out of fear or shame or frustration, and slowly the bond with your partner frays. But when you restore your vitality, when you know that your body can respond again, you remove that fear, you approach intimacy with curiosity, with confidence, with presence. You're not just sharing a physical act, you're sharing yourself without hesitation. That deepens trust. It reignites passion, and it reminds both you and your partner that age does not diminish the power of closeness. In fact, when nurtured, it can make intimacy richer than ever before. This reclamation of confidence, of energy, of intimacy is not just about you. It affects everyone around you. Your family sees a man who is alive, engaged, determined not to fade away. Your partner feels the presence of someone who has not surrendered to age but has chosen to remain vibrant. Even you, in the quiet moments when no one else is around, feel the weight of that choice lifting off your shoulders. You realize you're not simply surviving these later years, you're living them fully. What's crucial to understand is that this isn't about chasing the past. It's not about pretending you're 20 again. It's about standing firmly in who you are now and choosing to make this stage of life powerful in its own right. You bring the wisdom of your years, the discipline you've built, and now, through these practices, you bring back the physical vitality to match it. That combination is far stronger than anything you had in youth. Because now you know what's at stake. You've seen what decline looks like, and you've chosen not to accept it. It all begins with a decision to break the silence, to recognize the signals of your body, to apply the tools that are available to you. It grows with daily practice, with the consistency that reshapes both body and mind, and it culminates in this reclamation, a return not just of function, but of life itself. Confidence, energy, intimacy, these are not luxuries. They are necessities. They are the lifeblood of a meaningful existence. So as you stand here now, understand this. The story isn't over. It's not too late. Your body is capable of more than you've been led to believe. And when you step forward, when you embrace the discipline, when you reclaim what was lost, you'll discover a simple but powerful truth, that the best years of your life are not behind you. They are the ones you choose to live with strength, with purpose, and with fire, starting now.